The Transport Department has since seconded Dalian Mabula to act as CEO. I'm Tsepo Pagani in Johannesburg.
It has been on the cards for years, but now plans seem to be getting to a whole different level. The Zambian government is now exploring plans to unbundle the country's monopolistic power producing entity, ZESCO, with a view of making it viable. What are some of the factors around this? Our Zambia correspondent, Arthur Davis Sukopo from Lusaka, sheds more light on the matter.
Zambians have been talking and giving suggestions, and one major is the unbundling of ZESCO, or then Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation, owned by the government, that generates, transmits, distributes and supplies electricity in Zambia and sometimes in the region. The Industrial Development Corporation, IDC, that runs ZESCO, says despite of its size and monopolistic position, ZESCO has been facing financial, organizational and structural challenges that present an empirical risk to the company. Hence, the IDC is now seeking consultancy services for financial and operational restructuring of the entity. And key among the responsibilities is to assess the possibility of the segregation of the company's core operating units, which includes generation, transmission, and distribution of power. Others are to optimize operational efficiency of ZESCO and seeing a financial turnaround and return profitability. Energy expert Engineer Johnson Chikwanda sees some of these challenges of ZESCO.
One of the problems that keeps on coming up as besetting ZESCO has been political interference. And it is not just at ZESCO, it is most of the African utility companies. They are trapped in what we call a trilemma. At the moment, there is what we call the single buyer model, meaning that the independent power producers are constrained to sell to ZESCO. And it's very expensive power to sell to ZESCO, and ZESCO sells it at a loss. So we want to introduce a multi-buyer model.
On the assessment of the entity and possible unbundling, economists with vast experience in both state and private practice, now politician Chishala Kateka, supports the view.
The move by the New Dawn government to restructure ZESCO by unbundling the institution is a very welcome step. ZESCO has for a long time been faced with political interference. In addition, it is faced with serious financial woes and inefficiencies.
But what are some of the benefits of unbundling ZESCO? Engineer Chikwanda weighs in.
They are trapped in a trilemma of low tariffs, non-cost reflective tariffs. They are trapped in not having clean energy, old infrastructure, political interference. So to address their problems, you have to understand their actual situation, because you can unbundle and emerge very successfully. And there are some countries that did that and they emerged very well.
And Chishala Kateka also comes in.
We believe that by restructuring the company, the institution will be enabled to become efficient and profitable as it begins to focus on its core business.
Despite ZESCO running as a monopoly, it has been more at loss, even when people on the ground complain of high electricity tariffs. It is by this reason that Zambians support the unbundling of ZESCO. But is unbundling of ZESCO a solution to low tariffs?
It's not that when you unbundle, then you have solved the problems. You can, but sometimes you cannot. It can be disastrous if you haven't done it well.
ZESCO is one of the 17 members of the Southern Africa Power Pool, or SAP, and its grid is connected to other power utility companies in the region, meaning when the country has a deficit in power, it buys within the region, and so does it sell too. If the unbundling of ZESCO is to take course, Engineer Chikwanda says it is not a matter of a quick fix, but would take long due to various factors involved.
This project cannot be completed in 2 years. It is a project that has to be handled very, very cautiously, and dealing with a debt which is currently owned by ZESCO, on whose balance sheet is it going now to sit when you fragment the various companies? How do you ring-fence it?
Zambians are yet to see the results from the assessment and the position that government would take later after recommendations from the consultancy. Until then, Zambians will continue paying what they call high tariffs. Reporting for the SABC's Channel Africa in Lusaka, Zambia, I am Arthur Davis, Scopo.
And for your economics news, here is Nosihle Zuma.